the material itself.
One small mistake can literally ruin the whole thing.
It damaged everything. For me, the normal concrete pool is more like a bathtub.
How difficult is it to maintain an acrylic pool?
This is where I have to give my input.
Hello everybody, welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Blueprint. My name is Diksha Vora and I am extremely excited to host this particular podcast. Now, what is Beyond Blueprint about? You would have actually seen a lot of building in Dubai being constructed, and when you enter into some of the luxurious villas, apartments, and so you see the exquisite furniture, the design, the detailing. Now, take one step further and go towards the pool side, and you will see crystal clear waters. How are those pools built? Why do you need certain materials to build pools, particularly acrylic? Like, why does it work better? Then, how can you maintain them, and what are some mistakes people make? All that is going to be discussed in today's episode, and we will be discussing more about interiors, construction, contracting in upcoming episodes to obviously educate our audiences better. So if you have tuned in and if the world of pools is interesting to you, here we are, everything about pools today's episode. We have our specialist, our acrylic specialist, Mr. Rabia with us. So welcome to the show, Mr. Rabia. How are you from today?
Hi Diksha, thank you for that nice introduction.
Let's get to know you a bit better first. I want to know where are you from, what's your professional background sorts, and what inspired you to get into this particular industry?
When I'm originally from Palestine and lived all my life in Lebanon, my grandfather was a contractor. This is why I love construction. When I came to Dubai, I started directly in construction business, and later on I got into so many other business fields. After the drop in 2009, 2010, I changed my business a couple of times. Then I came back into contracting again. I met my friend. He's an expert in acrylic, and he made me love acrylic, and I started going deep and deep. So from 2021, I started my own company called New Exclusive Decoration Design and Fit Out, specialized in pools, acrylic, and we have done a lot of projects since then, failed in some, learned from them, and we moved on, and now I can call myself an acrylic expert.
That is right. That is so interesting. Well, I mean, it's good to know that you found your love with acrylic.
Yeah.
And what do you like building with acrylic the most?
Swimming pools, actually. Swimming pools, jacuzzis. Swimming pools are the masterpiece of acrylic.
Okay. Tell me about the different types of swimming pools. Like you said, there's a see-through swimming pool. There's also something that, we see, which is like the infinity one. And so there are different types. Which are types of swimming pools that you build?
I actually do all of them. But as I said, because I'm an acrylic specialist, I would prefer always to go with a pool with an infinity pool wall, a see-through pool wall.
Okay, that is the one that you prefer building. Now, what are some of the biggest mistakes companies make when conceptualizing an acrylic pool?
Okay, let's divide this into two categories: a normal swimming pool and an acrylic combined with concrete swimming pool. The normal swimming pool, there's very rare mistakes because everybody mastered it over the years. Now, the mistakes happens when there is acrylic in the swimming pool. The people who actually do the swimming pool, they don't know the material itself, the combination, what kind of combination they need to use in terms of installation, in terms of compatibility between the acrylic and the concrete itself, and the section details as well. All of these are very important details for the pool to pass and to be guaranteed. Otherwise, if you have no idea, you just copy paste what you see on YouTube. A lot of them, they watch YouTube videos. You copy paste what you see on YouTube, and then it will fail. It will look good for the first few months, and then it will fade later. And in our business, failing in swimming pools cost a lot of money.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Because as such, I think swimming pool construction is also not a very cheap affair. I mean, what would be an average starting price of getting a pool done in your house?
It depends what kind of material you're using, but let's say you're using a grade A premium material.
Yes.
It's not less than 150 to 200,000 dirham.
Right. And of course, I think the installation, etc., one small mistake can literally ruin the whole thing.
Especially if you're doing it in your own villa. Usually, all these pools are exposed to the basement, to the sitting areas, and when the leak happens, it damaged everything.
I agree. Let us also talk about what makes acrylic pools so much more different and better compared to other types of pools.
The look itself. Everybody like to have a luxurious swimming pool in his backyard. For me, and I don't mean to disrespect anybody, for me the normal concrete pool is more like a bathtub. When you have an acrylic swimming pool, it's transformation from normal stuff into an extraordinary stuff. That is it. It's luxury life. You're having luxury life. It's not that expensive, by the way, but you feel that luxury life having it.
I agree with it. Also tell me, just in general for the audience that's watching us, how difficult is it to maintain an acrylic pool?
It's not that difficult if you know how to build with the material. Again, almost everybody's mistake in the market is like they do not know what acrylic is and how you have to deal with acrylic. I start distributing operation manual for all my clients and all the people who do an acrylic installation with me, for them to know how to deal with acrylic. And there is a few components you cannot use with acrylic, chemicals you cannot use with acrylic, ammonia based cleaning material you cannot use with acrylic, it will cause glazing later. Acetone, for example, you cannot use with acrylic. It's just how you can protect the acrylic glass, and if it gets scratched, it's easy. It's so much easier than the normal glass. Acrylic glass is like, it's something you can polish it with the right material and it's new again.
Okay, now consider me your layman. Consider me that I don't know anything about pools and wouldn't ask you some basic, very primitive questions. Number one is, at what stage of the project should somebody approach you to build an acrylic pool for themselves?
Since the beginning, because I need to have my own input in the design itself.
Right. Okay. So my question to you, Rabia, is that if I am actually buying a property from a developer and the pool is not in his master plan, okay, but I have a villa and I have some extra space, would that help if I want to build something on it?
Yes, of course. Yeah, so my team can do it from zero, from excavation to building the full pool and everything. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now, you said that you have to be involved in the project ideally, especially for any commercial projects like hotels, etc., all of that. Right from the floor plan, right from the beginning of the thing, you have to be involved and then you conceptualize the whole thing for them.
For a simple reason. Yes. My material is not very well known by architects, by contractors, by designers. They have to understand the concept. This is where I have to give my input. They have to understand the concept and how this material behaves. There is a behavior, by the way, for acrylic. It contracts, it expands and shrinks a bit to the weather between summer and winter. Especially here in the Gulf area and UAE, when it becomes like 40-50 degrees in the midsummer, the acrylic expands. I give it space.
Okay. So you allow that space to expand and contract. Oh, that's interesting. So it's my next question that why are acrylic pools such an unknown and an undiscovered section in the pool industry till today? If it is so affordable, if it is user-friendly, if it is even luxurious, why aren't many people doing it?
Because they think it's expensive, that's one.
Okay.
Two, they don't know about acrylic. Again, acrylic was invented in the 30s. The material itself was planned to be for the fighting jets. to have lightweights instead of glass. And then they moved on and then they developed into other industries. Here, most of the people, they actually think it's a glass wall. They don't know the difference between glass and acrylic. They think it's not safe. They think, why would I put the glass in my swimming pool? They have no knowledge about acrylic, what acrylic is.
I agree. So I guess the first thing that we need to work on is the awareness issue. The lack of awareness. We need to build on that. That okay, this exists, this works, and this is still great. Now, you spoke about in warmer countries, the acrylic expands, etc. Let's talk about its use case scenario in colder countries. Let's talk about the US, Canada, places where it snows, freezes, and so. How do things work out there?
They actually frame it. Here we don't frame the acrylic. We give it the space. In Europe and America and Canada, they make an actual frame all over the four sides of the acrylic. So they keep it in the frame.
Right. And just for my knowledge, is it possible to actually add a jacuzzi, etc., in an existing acrylic pool?
Yeah. Yes, of course. We can do any design in acrylic. Any design. We can make it curved. We can make it straight. We can make designs from the acrylic itself. Yeah. Yesterday I got an inquiry. Someone want a light, an LED lights in the acrylic itself. We can still do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. In country you are sure of that. What temperature controls, etc., in the pools? Do you have like some provision for that as well?
Yes, we do. Actually, every single pool have a core heat system. And we, in our operation manual, when we give to the client, we tell him what kind of temperature he need to keep in winter when it gets chilly. And in summer as well, as much as we can, because in pool walls, there is difference between inside the pool and outside the pool. Outside is too hot, inside the pool is cold, and that makes a big reaction on the acrylic itself. So we teach our clients how to deal with water temperature inside the pool.
Right. That's very interesting. And tell me, Roger, the slogan is very interesting. For those who's listening to us, the slogan is, we succeed where others fail. What made you come up with this slogan?
What made me come up with this slogan is actually the truth. I keep walking around, clients call me to fix other people's mistake, but that is not the deal. The thing is that, again, these people who's doing this installation, they have no idea how the material work, how this acrylic behaves, what kind of sealing you need to see, what kind of waterproofing you need to do the waterproofing up. People who call themselves experts, they actually take credit of my work. Believe me, my name is very well known in between contractors because I do the jobs under these people, the main contractors. I have done a lot of studies and research, and every failure, I failed before. Then I had to go and study the case itself. Then I found the reason why it was leaking, why it's draining here, why it's draining there. And when you know the reason, you have reason of failure, you actually have 50% of the solution. So all what you need to do is to find a solution for that particular problem.
Correct. That makes so much more sense. What is one final advice you'd like to give to people who are considering building swimming pools in their homes, villas, and so on, other places? Some things that they should be aware about before they make this decision, just so that, prevention is better than cure. So what may some of those things?
I'm gonna be frank about this. Don't go for cheap stuff. There is a reason everything has its own price. You have to understand based on the water level. We're talking specifically pools right now. Based on the water level, what kind of thickness you need to use in acrylic. It cannot be broken. And it's so much harder than glass. It's actually almost 17 to 18 times harder than glass. But it bends. If you put less thickness than it needed, it actually bend and it break all the sip and walk. And that's a disaster.
Correct. Oh, look.
And people go usually for the nice look, but not going deep into technicalities. My advice is get proper contractor to do that, asking for the proper material, asking for expert structural engineering report before you go ahead. It doesn't matter if he said 5,000 or 200,000. You need to understand, even the 5,000 when you pay it for something it doesn't worth it, it's too much. So my advice to people is look deeply into this, because this is a very dangerous spot in your home. Look deeply into it, get the reports, and don't always go for chic this stuff.
Correct. Are there any disadvantages?
The only disadvantage is when you don't know how to deal with it. The only disadvantage, other than that, it will work with you. It's guaranteed for 30 years. I personally guarantee you for 10 years. I can go for 20, believe me. With the material I'm using, I can go for 20. But I do 10 years on the safe side. Everybody in the market cannot go for more than 2 years. Cannot. And for simple reasons, or I know it already. Again, they don't know what is this material. They claim that they know, but they don't. They don't.
Right. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. We talked about so much about acrylic pools, and trust me, they look beautiful. If you haven't tried one, do try installing one in your house, and you'll see how luxurious your house space becomes. For all the details related to pools, contracting, etc., feel free to connect with Rabia. His contact details are in the description box below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also share this podcast with those in your network who are actually building houses. And we will be back very soon with another podcast on the same line, describing how we're going to be going beyond the blueprint in every episode. Thank you so much.